name is Carson V. Heady, and I am the author of Birth of a Salesman, also a renowned salesperson, sales manager extraordinaire. If you're watching this, first off, I just want to say congratulations. Obviously, you're serious about selling, and that's what brought you here. My credentials, yeah, they're in these boxes. This is every sales award I've ever won through several years of sales, 9 years in fact. If that's the sort of thing you're interested in, I'd be more than happy to send you a copy of each and every one of them. But I think what you should be more interested in if you want to reach the level of sales greatness is what's up here and what comes out of this. Because honestly, words and speeches sound great, but I want to talk to you today and in a series of future videos coming to a YouTube station near you about how you can turn those words and speeches into literal gold. First off, feel free to check me out on Carson V as in Victory, Heady, Heady.com. I'm also findable on Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace. As I mentioned before, I'm the author of Birth of a Salesman, which is it's the quintessential sales help novel. It's coming out, well, it's in editing right now, and it's being produced by World Audience Incorporated. It should be out by the holidays, so that'd be a great stocking stuffer for you and yours. Basically to give you a brief plot line analysis, as I mentioned, a big chunk of the book is how to sell from the beginning to the end. In addition to that, there's also about 200 to 250 pages that comprises a fictional component. It's the fictional story of the fictional author of the self-help book within the book. And basically it tells his story and how he and his sales team dealt with a tyrannical sales supervisor who was under an ethics investigation that was brought on basically by their mutiny. And it could probably help book sales if I say that the boss was kind of like a vampire. I'm sure thousands of more people will probably run out and buy the book if I say that. So if it helps you, pretend he's a vampire. That said, guys, I'm not here to make you like me. I'm here in hopes that you'll listen. And, honestly, I think in this life, we're here so few, for such a little amount of time in this world that I think if you're really good at something, it's up to you. It's your duty to impart that knowledge to others so that you can live on through that and help others. I didn't get to where I am because for lack of people supporting me. I've worked with some great people. I've had some great people work for me over the years, and I'm indebted to them for what I've learned, and I want to help other people with the gifts that I have. I could start out by diving into what most people think is the most important, which is overcoming objections, but it's not. That's short-sightedness, thinking that that is the most important thing. I've been put on a lot of sales calls before by reps that were backed into a corner, wanting me to dig them out of that hole. But the thing of the matter is if you haven't built a strong foundation, you're not going to close that call. It's that simple. It's up to the confidence that you exude. It's the methods by which you manage your time. It's the introduction you choose to use. It's the questions you ask, and it's the build-up. How did you get to this point? And if you don't do all the stuff right, it's going to fall apart in the end. It's like building a puzzle without the vital pieces. You can't do it. That said, I mentioned confidence. That's huge. Your ability to pick yourself back up. Guys, quite frankly, in 9 years of sales experience, I've lost a lot of battles. But you know what? I win every war. And that's the most important thing. You're going to get knocked down. That's how you pick yourself back up. For crying out loud, Sylvester Stallone has made how many Rocky movies? And the guy's been knocked down more than any of us ever will. But the thing of the matter is, you keep getting back up after you get dealt those knockdown punches. And dedication and implementation. How serious are you about this? If you're really serious about it, quite frankly, sales ability exists in every one of us. Whether you're selling your spouse or significant other on where you want to go to dinner, or you're selling your kid on using the potty instead of her diaper. Everything is sales, and the people that are better at it can make a heck of a lot of money, and I'm sure that's why you're here. Quite honestly, a lot of times confidence is an act. When I first started in the sales game, honestly, I was a kid right out of college. 22 years old, I had no knowledge of what I was doing. I was a small town boy living in a lonely world who'd taken the midnight train to anywhere, and I wound up in a sales gig. And honestly, sometimes you just have to close your eyes, cross your fingers, and hope to God that customer on the other end of the line doesn't laugh at you when you throw out that recommendation. But you know what? If you don't throw that out there, if you don't offer your best bet, your best product, your best service, you have no chance with that customer, and that's what you have to remember. So sometimes if it's about throwing yourself, taking that flying cannonball into the deep end of the pool, that's fine. You got to do it to get there. What I want to talk about too is, sales is a lot of times it's talked about like it's a curse word. Sales is not a curse word. It's not a scary thing. Sales is a psychological tug of war. It's about figuring out in a very brief period of time what ails this customer, what's their problem, and how do I fix it with what I've got. That is what sales is all about. It's not a bad word. In addition to that, a repetition of a highly evolved sales strategy is what we're shooting for. When you get to that point, it's like the Matrix. You've seen those movies. Hopefully you haven't seen the last two because they weren't the best. But in the first Matrix, Keanu Reeves, he was an average Joe. But by the end of that movie, he believed he was the one and the guy could dodge bullets because he anticipated what was coming his way. If you're a good salesperson, that's you. You know what the customer is going to say before they say it. You acknowledge their issues, you acknowledge what they say, you put it in their place, and you move on to your next step. Your next step. Do not let them dictate where that call goes. A lot of people make the mistake that they think that sales is about telling the customer everything you know about a product or service. You know what? Bravo. I'm glad that you know those things about your product or service. That's awesome. But we're not here to write a book report. We're not here to interview them for the school paper. We are here to very quickly figure out what ails this customer, figure out what you can do with what you've got, with your little bag of goodies, how you're going to fix their problem. That's it. That is all sales is. Don't overcomplicate it. Once you overcomplicate it, you lose. So figure out what it is that ails them, and instead of telling them 5 different things about what your product does, tell them 5 different ways that you can take care of their problem. And if they don't get it, find a different way of wording it. Because the thing of the matter is that it's not about being able to total recall everything that you know about the product. It's about being able to specifically address their issue, their need. And in addition to that, at the end of the day, your only job is to make their fear of standing pat and doing nothing outweigh their fear of change. That's sales. People are afraid of change. People don't want to change. People don't want to change anything about what they do. That's why the world has a lot of the problems that it has today. However, the key thing is if you make that customer fear the parade passing them by, if you make them fear that them not changing, them not going along with your way of thinking is going to have a huge detriment on their business, their personal life, whatever may have you, that's how you're going to sell them. It's that simple. When you make that fear outweigh the fear of change, you win. I'm not going to, I don't have a whole lot of time obviously in this first session. I just wanted to introduce myself, but I did want to leave you with an important sales tidbit. That you can use immediately. My 2 favorite words on any sales call: perfect and exactly. You always want to hit a customer with what they don't expect from you. Customers expect things from you. They expect you to call to sound mundane. They expect you to cower in the corner whenever they tell you that they can't talk right now. But the thing is when you break out of that mold, when you don't act like a telemarketer, you won't be treated like one. So the thing of the matter is if a customer says, yeah, I really wouldn't benefit from your service. I already use something else for that. Well, perfect. So honestly, you're actually more than aware of how this product already works. And as I've already shown you how my product is better than what you use, what specifically is holding you back today from using a better alternative? Customer didn't expect me to say that. They basically expected me to shut down and go away. But when that customer says, well, I don't need your product, exactly, perfect. You already know how this product or service works, so why don't you tell me what specifically is holding you back? The bottom line is all customer objections boil down to one. It's a lack of belief, period. The thing of the matter is you can tell me you can't afford this. That's not true. We both know it. If you couldn't afford this, your lights wouldn't be on. So the thing of the matter is, Mr. Customer, I understand where you're coming from. Exactly. You can't pay for this. Customer says that. I can't afford it. Okay? And my answer is, exactly, Mr. Customer. I understand that your gut reaction is to say that you can't afford this. But the thing of the matter is, think about the other things that you will not be able to afford if you cut off this potential cash flow. What specifically is really holding you back? Why do you not believe this is going to work for you? And then stop talking. Let that customer answer your question. Because the thing of the matter is, if they believed that what you had to offer, that what you were selling was going to be better for them, they'd do it. Period. Cash flow doesn't matter. I could tell you today to bring me $1 tomorrow to put it in the Carson Heady BMW fund. But you wouldn't. But if I told you that I could turn $100 into $1 million, you'd bring me the 100. So why would you bring me the 100 and not bring me the $1? Because I showed you value. It's that simple. Guys, that's basically the end of session 1. It's been a blast, and honestly, take a look at me on the web, carsonvheady.com. Feel free to send me objections. I can come up with an answer to any of them, and I want you guys to make it a great selling day. Take care. All the best.